It's Friday. Happy Friday. Woo! Every Friday, I feel I'm the only one that's really excited. It's Friday. Yeah. We have a couple new people, so thank you for pointing yourselves out and welcome. If you're new online, hello, welcome. We will start either sitting or on our backs or standing or in any sort of comfortable, easy shape that you want to sit in. Gentle reminder that you have total agency over your practice. So if something doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't feel safe, you don't have to do it. You can back out of any shape at any time. You can also back out of any meditation, right? If your mind is kind of wandering into an unwelcome place and you don't want to go there, you can back your mind out of that, okay? It's important that we all personally feel supported and that we support each other in class. Okay, so with that, as you find your shape, we'll take a couple moments just to settle. You can have your eyes open or your eyes closed. If you're on your back, you might find it helpful to bend your knees. That'll give your low back, your mid back a little extra support, but totally up to you. And giving yourself a moment with a few breaths to feel the ground, to feel the earth beneath you. The stability of the ground of the earth. Giving yourself a moment to settle down and drop into the earth. Allowing the ground, earth, floor, mat to hold you up. It's a little easier if we're on our backs, but we can do this seated. Bring attention to your back body, the back of your skull, the shoulders, the ribs, the hips, your spine. And just give yourself a little time to let those parts, the head, draw back into the floor or back towards the wall behind you. To feel your shoulders release into the ground, or the shoulders to gently draw back a little bit. To feel your spine release all the way from the back of your skull area through your neck, all the way down through your tailbone, dropping, releasing your spine into the floor or a little more towards the back of the wall or your chair. Giving yourself a moment as we breathe here together. Noticing what you can't see. We don't get to see the back of the head, shoulders, ribs, hips, spine. I'm going to take 3 breaths. And then we're all going to make our way onto our backs if that works for you. If you prefer, if you're sitting in a chair, you prefer to stay in your chair, we're going to go to dead bug. So you can do dead bug sitting in a chair. On the floor here, you're going to bring your knees up over your hips and just pause. We're going to start by putting your hands on the front of your thigh bones. Okay, right close to your knee. And you're going to let your elbows float up off of the floor. Okay, you're going to push your legs away and pull your legs in at the same time. Flex your feet. So if you were sitting at a wall, it would feel like chair pose at the wall. You're going to push and pull your legs and take 5 breaths. Gentle reminder, work with intensity. So you might have a like level 2 intensity. You might be up to a 5 or a 7, working with that internal resistance intensity. And then after 5 breaths, let everything rest. Bring your feet to the floor, shake out your legs a little bit. Okay. So we're going to work with internal resistance, reminding ourselves it works on a continuum. So today we're just going to use that continuum of 1 to 10. Okay. So bring your knees back up over. Now put your hands on the back of your legs on your hamstrings. You're going to pull your legs into you and push them away, flex your feet, and then internal resistance intensity. Try to keep your low back down, not popping your spine up, and push and pull your legs. Getting a little more of that feel in the deep, low belly, like navel to pubic bone all the way around. So like corset cummerbund is really strong and working here. A couple more breaths. And then let everything rest. Shake it out a little bit. All right, we're going to do it one more time. You pick where you want to put your hands. Okay, so maybe you liked them on the front of your legs. Maybe you liked them a little more on the hamstrings, back of the legs. You pick intensity. You might pick 2 and then go up to 5. You get 5 breaths. So you can incrementally make it harder. You could incrementally turn down the intensity, make it a little easier. So if you haven't started, start with your breath and push and pull. 5 breaths, shoulders down out of your ears. Spine, back body going into the floor. If you're in a chair, it's still trying to go into the back of the chair or towards the wall behind you. Keep breathing. If it's been 5 breaths, rest. And when you get to 5 breaths, whoo, bring everything down and rest. You might feel that a little extra in your quads, the front of your legs. If you're doing the hands on the back, you might feel that a little more through your hamstrings. Just give yourself 3 resting breaths, totally rest. Okay, let's add the arms. Bring your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, now bring your knees up over your hips. Keep your knees bent and then bend at your elbows. So muscle memory, remember what it felt like to push and pull your legs. See if you can come back to a little bit of that muscle memory. And then with an inhale, take all of your limbs up to the ceiling and exhale, bend. Couple more. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. Can you start as you're moving, add resistance in your arms? Just like we did with the legs, can you add some resistance? Now you could go contralaterally if you want. So you could take your left leg up and your right arm up and then bend. Left arm, right leg. Okay, I'm going to be quiet so you can work with feeling the movement in relationship to your breath. So give yourself maybe 3 more on each side, working with your breath. Next time all your limbs are up towards the ceiling, pause. I'm going to challenge ourselves. Check in with your back. So head, shoulders, ribs, hips, spine. Try not to let your spine pop up, okay? Keep that spine nice and heavy. Reach your arms overhead towards the wall behind you, like you're reaching and stretching through your armpits and your side body, and then just lower your right heel a couple inches. Did you move your spine? Check in. Bring your left leg down to meet your right leg. Keep your belly button low back going towards the floor. Keep your ribs heavy. Take 3 breaths. Keep breathing. Heels might lower a little bit or come on up. Then exhale, pull everything up to the ceiling. Ooh, that one was hard today. And lower everything down. And then check in with yourself. Come back to your experience. How was that for you? How's your breath? How's your body? Give yourself a couple breaths. And then we're all going to roll on up to standing. So we're all different. You might roll to the side. Right? You might roll all the way forward and up. You do you. Woo, and come on up. Great. Take a wide stride when you get up. Heels in, toes out. Yeah, you can look out. Kind of a nice treat today. There's some loons out there on the lake, lots of birds. It's really beautiful. Hinge at your hips. Push your hip creases back, forward fold. Come back up. So going at a slower pace just to check in like, ooh, how's this feeling? Through your heels, up through the back of your legs, into your hips and your back. Moving a couple more times to get a little bit of information. All right, so as I look around the room, I'm going to add a little bit of challenge. Okay, it's really easy to fall back into your heels and lock your knees. Okay, so little bend in your knees. Bring the weight a little bit into the balls of your feet and then fold forward. Push your hip creases, push your butt cheeks back, keeping a little more of that weight forward. And see how that feels differently. And come back up. And do a couple more times. So little bend in your knee, weight out in the balls of the feet. Deep, low belly, corset, cummerbund, nice and strong. One more time. Anybody notice a difference when you bring the weight out into the balls of the feet? Yes. Yeah. You have to use that corset cummerbund a little bit differently. Great. Step both feet together. Toes face forward. You're going to push your hip creases back. And now, a little different, you're going to put a little more weight in your heels and come back up. I'm going to do about 5 of these. Hinge. Come on up. If you want, sweep your arms all the way out and up. As you come down, take your arms down by your ankles. Sweep your arms out and up. Arms can come down by your ankles. You got one more. Nice, strong through your hips, low back. And then arms come down by your side. Hands come into your hip creases. Weight in the balls of the feet, a little more. Hinge. Come back up. 2 more. Next time you hinge, we're going to do a standing tabletop to protect our knees. So we don't have to come down on our knees today for table. This is where we're going to build our table. So it might feel, a little more challenging because you have a lot more space and you don't get your hands on the floor. You only have 2 points of contact to build your table. So reminding ourselves, we want our ears in line with our shoulders, shoulders in line with your hips. So try to keep that navel drawing up to not let the low back sag too much. Might feel a little more like work in the belly back. Look out in front of you. Take a breath. And then you're just going to drop your sit bones butt down and take your arms up and find your chair squat. Bring the weight a little more into your heels. Tip into your chair. Then, tip into your table. Tip back to your chair. You got 2 more. Tip to your table. Back to your chair. Arms are optional. Can keep your arms at your side. You're going to come back to your table. Exhale, fold all the way over. Let your low back start to round. Bend your knees. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees if you need to, want to, and push your hip creases back. Try and just let your head hang for a couple moments. So in down dog, in this one, focusing a little more on low back length. 2 more breaths. You could bend your knees. Exhale, we got to walk your hands and feet together. So however that works for you, feel free to walk your hands back a little bit, your feet up a little bit. Come all the way on up. Do a nice big full body stretch. Chair pose, come on back down. Touch your ankles, shins, weight in your heels. Come back up, big stretch. Chair pose. Exhale, push into your heels, come on up. One more time, chair. Really stretch your arms out and up, reach. Great, fold forward. Step forward, step back. You decide, downward facing dog. So depending where you are on your mat, build your down dog. 3 breaths is all we're taking here. Exhale, hands and feet walk together. Come all the way back up, big mountain stretch. Great, and hands come down to your side. Press into that left leg, pick up your right heel. You might pick up your right knee. You might bring your hand onto your shin. So remember how we started on our backs in that core place of pushing and pulling. So bring a hand onto your leg. You could be down here, right? Push, pull like we did on our backs. Try to get in that corset cummerbund and maybe swing your right leg open. And balance. It's okay. Keep breathing. Bring your leg back around. Woo, put it down. Right away, left heel lifts up. Bring your hand on that leg. Elbow out to the side a little bit. Push, pull. Right, what's your intensity? What's your resistance? Swing your left leg open like a door. You got it, you got it. Bring your left leg back. Bring it down, sweet. Jump around, shake it out. Woo. We should do it again. Right leg comes up, don't think about it. Right leg comes up, swing it open like a door. All right, swing it back. Good, swing it back behind you. Swing it forward. It's a dance, swing it out. Don't think about it. Bring it forward, put it down. Don't think about it, don't think about it. Don't trust your body. Here you go, left leg. Open it up. Woo, bring it back. Go behind you. Bring it up. We got to get ready for Dane dances this summer when the concerts are on the rooftop. Shake it out. Some weird interpretive yoga dance from class. Here we go. Exhale, big stretch up. Fold forward. Walk forward, back, downward facing dog or skip it. All right, little different challenge. You're going to do a floating table to save your knees today. So you're going to bring your knees almost to the floor, but don't let them touch. Don't let them touch. Upper back, quad strength. Hips go up and back, down dog. 3 breaths. Exhale, hands and feet walk together. Big stretch up. Reach, reach, reach. Pick up your right knee. Swing it open like a door. Bring it back. Bring it back, tip. Bring it back. Woohoo, put it down, fold over. Downward facing dog. You got this. You know where we're headed. Floating table or skip it. Bring your knees, float them, couple breaths, big strong backs, strong quads. Down dog. Walk your hands and feet together. Remember, you never have to stick with the group. Go rogue if you need to. Arms come down. Lift your left leg up. Swing it open like a door. Bring it back. Take it back behind you. Great. Swing it up. Woo, put it down. Exhale. Sweep your arms out and up. Fold forward. Downward facing dog. Floating table or skip it. Just bring your knees, just skim them across the floor. Just barely lift them up off the floor. You got this. Good, down dog. Woo. Walk your hands and feet together. Chair pose. Come all the way on up. Chair, chair. Weight in your heels. Stand up and rest. Woo. Get a 30-second break. Come back into your body. Breathe. Might put a hand on your heart, hand on your belly, whatever brings you back inward. Notice your experience with your body, with your breath. Just let your body breathe for you. It's okay to have a fast heart rate. It's okay to have a fast breath. And then with your next exhale, step your feet wide. We're going to go down in a sumo and sweep your arms out and up. You're going to pull your arms down and in and straighten your legs. Okay. Again, work with resistance. You can really find internal resistance as you go up and down. Last one right now. Great. Straighten your legs. Bring your hands to your hips. Left leg's going to roll in. Right leg's going to roll out. You're going to go about heel to heel and let your right knee bend. Okay, bring your right hand on top of your thigh bone. Remember how we started on our backs? You're pushing and pulling. So push into that leg. Try and feel your corset cummerbund really connected into your body. And then tip at your right hip and just let your right hand trickle down towards your shin, towards your foot. Come back up. You're going to work in your hip. 2 more. Push that arm. So you might feel this in your right shoulder blade all the way through your arm into your core, into your leg. You're sliding down and coming up. Last time. You're going to slide down your leg as far as your hip feels okay. Great. If you want, left arm reaches up, side angle. Now take your right thigh bone and press it gently towards your pinky toe. Gentle. 3 breaths. Keep your legs right as they are. Just take your right arm all the way up to the ceiling and lift your torso. Reach to the ceiling. And then straighten your right leg with strength. Fabulous. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Hands to your hips. Soften your chest. Corset cummerbund, bend your left knee. Left hand comes on that left thigh bone, push down. So when you push down, see if you can feel your upper back shoulder blade area. Trying to connect upper body, middle body, lower body. You're tipping at your hip 3 times, coming up. Little bit of weight. Push into that leg. Great. On your third one, you pause. You might be on your second one. You don't have to stick with the group. And you decide. Right arm's going to come up maybe. That leg's going to press out a little bit towards your pinky toe. Great. Spin your chest. You got 3 breaths. Keep your legs right as they are. Lift your left arm all the way up to the ceiling. Come on up, straighten your left leg really strong. Great. Guide your toes around. So you have wide legs, toes facing forward. Push your hip creases, push your butt back, wide leg forward fold. All the way, long spine over. Let your head try and just hang. You might tuck your chin a little bit. Look behind you. Now come into your feet and make sure all the weight's not back in your heels. So you might play. I don't know if the word's play. Explore bringing the weight up into the balls of your feet. Keeping your spine nice and long. Wide leg tabletop, lift your chest. Build a wide leg tabletop, hands to your hips. Ears, shoulders, ribs, hips, long spine. You're gonna hang out here for 3 breaths. Keep the weight in the balls of the feet and come all the way on up, really strong to standing and step your feet together. Ooh, hands come down by your sides. Pick up your right leg. Open it like a door. Sweet, bring it forward. Step it back, high lunge, okay? So it's gonna step back. You're gonna lift your front hip bones up. You decide, where do you want your arms? On your hips, maybe they come to your chest. Maybe you're looking to bring them up, a little more challenging. Okay, then you're gonna take that left shin forward, your right thigh bone back, and lift up 3 breaths. High lunge. Load your left leg, left hip, pick up your right leg balance. Maybe take a tree pose. Or maybe keep your right knee up just like you had it. 5 breaths. So you can put your toes down on the floor, can lift them up a little higher. You build your tree. What do you notice when you take a few breaths? Come back to your present time experience. Right foot's going to come back down to the floor. Exhale, sweep your arms out and up. Just 1 forward fold. Come all the way back up when you're ready. Hands to your hips. Reground, find the earth. What brings you back into your body? Come back into your body, and when you're ready, left leg picks up. Swing it open like a door. Woo, bring it back. High lunge, swing it back. Hands on your front hips. Lift those hip points. Back heels lifted. So you have to balance here. Right shin comes forward. Left thigh bone pushes back. Maybe you bring your hands to your chest. Maybe you're taking them up. 3 breaths. You're gonna have to use that right hip, right leg. Push down. Step that left leg up. You choose. Where's your tree pose going to be? Right? Where do you put that left leg in relationship to your right? Building a foundation for your tree. Come back 5 breaths. What brings you back into your body? Both feet come down to the floor. Big sweep up. Forward fold all the way over. Downward facing dog. Floating table or skip it. So you can come, take your knees and hover them, or maybe take a straight arm plank. Right? If you prefer, if you want to put your knees all the way down, feel free. You can do good old fashioned table, plank, or floating table. You got 5 more breaths. Woo. 5 breaths is a really long time. I'm lowering all the way down on my belly. We'll come all the way down to prone mountain when you're ready. Y'all are way strong. Way to go. I'm going to lower down on our bellies. Walk your hands out a little bit. Tuck your chins. Okay, so your nose is just going to hover off of the floor. I have a mic, so I can't get my nose quite as low as you can. And then your hands can come a little bit wider. So you might not feel like your ring finger or your pinky finger on the mat. That's okay. And just let your shoulders have a couple breaths to soften down out of your ears. So hip extension, we're going to focus on getting your pubic bone to push into the floor with the front of your hips. Pull your right leg really long and just lift and lower the right leg maybe 3 to 5 times. Try to keep that right hip bone down, okay? So can you feel your hip bone? Don't let your hip bone come up. Okay, you're trying to just move the leg, not the hip. Try it on the left side. Left leg's gonna lift and lower. Your left front hip bone stays anchored into the ground. This will provide stability for your sacrum and your low back. Good. And then you're going to lower both legs down. Rest for a couple breaths. Sometimes working the hamstrings is quite tiring. All right, we're going to bring your arms out in front of you. And you're just going to come back on your forearms, okay, and lift your chest. Okay. Now, find your navel, and you want to draw your navel up, okay? So we don't want to be super hinged in the low back like this. Might not feel super great in those vertebrae. So pull your belly button up and draw your shoulders down out of your ears. All right, now push your pubic bone into the floor and lift your legs up a little bit. If you want more challenge, start to try and straighten your arms. Keep that belly button really anchoring up. Okay, you don't want to overhinge. Bend your elbows, come back down. Everyone feel okay? Let's check in the room anyway. Okay, in your low backs? Okay, draw your belly button in. Lift your legs. Lift your elbows just a little bit. Feel the strength in your upper back. Shoulders down out of your ears. Lift, 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 lift. Go as high as you. Woo. Yeah, it's hard. Oh, lower down. Great. Hands come underneath your forehead. Rest. You might look to the left, look to the right. Take a few breaths. It can be really big movement for the low back. So give yourself a few breaths. All right, good old fashioned baby cobra now. Hands down by your lower ribs. Rest your hands in the floor, lift your chest. Feel your corset cummerbund, maybe lift your legs. Lower down. Use your hands for the next one. We'll keep continuing the challenge. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your legs. Okay, lower down. Now, you choose. You can keep your hands right where they are, or you can straighten your arms. Palms will face up. Okay, so they come down by your sides. Lift your legs. Lift your arms just as high as your hips. Lift your chest. Lower everything down. Now lift your chest, your arms, and then your legs. Lower down. Great. Rest if you want to rest, or do 3 more. Okay. Your choice. Back bending requires a lot of hamstring, back leg strength, and a lot of corset cummerbund strength. So keeping that corset cummerbund on, keeping the strength in your upper back. Rest when you need to rest. Come only as high as you can stay long. You want to stay long, 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 long. Head going forward, legs pulling back. Woohoo, and then just come down. You can put your hands underneath your face if you want. Look to the right or left. We're going to take about a 15-20 second rest break. Just breathe. And then we'll take a fork in the road, okay? So you can come to regular table with your knees on the floor. Okay, we're going to do cat-cow there. So if you want to come on your knees, if that works for you, you can do cat-cow. Nice and slow. Just work on feeling a little flexion and extension throughout the length of your spine. If you don't want to be on your knees, you're going to come down onto your back and roll up and down, in and out of bridge. And we're going to have plenty of time to do both, okay? So if cat-cow's not your jam, you don't want to be on your knees, come on your back and roll up and roll down out of bridge. So you could finish your cat-cows if you know you want to do some bridges, rolling in and out of bridge. Feel free to transition onto your back. And then rolling up and down out of your low back. So you push that belly button down and you roll up to your bridge and lower down. Going at your own pace so you can pay attention to how it's feeling. We're practicing with embodiment. So practicing being in your body through the movement, you can adjust as you need. I'm going to be here about 10-15 more seconds. And then we're going to roll out of that bridge, just back onto our backs like we started in constructive rest pose. Come back to the ground, earth to hold us up, and take about 5 breaths. Then take both legs up towards the ceiling for double leg hamstring stretch. And also just to feel the back of your pelvis, nice and grounded again on the earth. So you don't get to see your right back hip or your left back hip. So just bring some attention to the back of the hips. And just try and let the back of the hips feel a little heavier, more anchored. Keeping your legs up. They don't have to be locked and super straight. You can have a bend in your knee. Feel the back of your rib cage then, and the back of your shoulders. 3 breaths. Then just bring your left leg down to the floor. So just bend your left knee and put your left foot on the floor and bring your right knee all the way up into your armpit. You can straighten the left leg out on the floor if you want, but you're just pulling that right knee up into your right hip. Letting some tension go from your mid back up into the back of your shoulders, the back of your neck and skull. And then switch legs. Right leg goes out on the floor, left knee comes all the way up into your armpit. That right leg out on the floor is nice and heavy and really similar to the other side. Back of the ribs, through the back of the shoulders and the head, release. 2 breaths. And then we're going to bend both knees and put the feet back on the floor. Take your feet out nice and wide. So it's okay if like your pinky toe and the next toe over are off the mat. You can take your arms out wide like T's and drop both knees over to the right and look over to the left. Windshield wiper your knees to the left and look over to the right. So when your knees drop to the left, your right butt cheek will come up. When you drop your knees to the right, your left butt cheek will pop up, okay? And your head goes just opposite. Try to keep the back of your heart in your awareness. So as you're moving through here, see if you can feel the back of your heart nice and anchored on the floor. Nice and spacious between your shoulder blades. We'll do about 3 more to each side. Feel free to go at your own pace. And then we'll come back to constructive rest pose. Just one more time, we'll take your legs straight up towards the ceiling, heavy back hips. Great, you might point and flex a little bit in your feet, ankles. And if you would like to stretch out your back a little bit, you're going to just bend your knees and hug your knees into your chest. You might rock a little bit side to side. And then we'll bring our feet down to the floor. Give yourself a full body stretch on the ground. So just reach your legs long, heavy back body. Try not to let your spine pop up. Keep that spine anchoring, grounding into the earth. And then arms can come down by your side. You could put one on your belly, one on your heart. We always take the last few minutes in silence for self-care. So you can have your hands on your body or by your side. You can take some time to do some stretching. Maybe there's a favorite yoga pose we didn't do that you just, I really, really would love to do that. It's an opportunity. You have about 2 minutes here to take care of yourselves. Nice and quiet. Meeting yourself right where you are with your breathing. As we're all in a different shape, connecting to our bodies, breathing. Just going to take a few moments here to practice gratitude. Bless you. Taking a moment to notice 2 or 3